Every breath you take carries a risk, and here, people breathe slowly just to stay alive. Dhaka, where breathing is for survival, not for living. And now, hit like and subscribe to join us as we explore this travel documentary together. Welcome to Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, one of the most polluted cities on the planet, where people compete for every square meter of air and freedom. This city is carrying the weight of over 23 million people. That's nearly the entire population of Australia packed into an area smaller than the city of Houston, USA. The average population density reaches nearly 12,000 people per square kilometer. It's so alarming that the World Health Organization has warned, Dhaka's air quality has exceeded safe limits by nearly 6 to 8 times for several months. And the most horrifying part is this: over 90% of the people breathing this air have never had it pass through any kind of filter. They're street vendors, flower-selling children, couples cooking by the roadside, the people we rarely see in travel photos. Bangladesh is no stranger to this paradox, living through storms while holding on to calm. In today's video, we're not looking at Bangladesh through the worn-out lens of a poor country. We're going deeper, into the narrow alleys of the Dhaka slum, into overcrowded hospitals, and into makeshift outdoor classrooms for underprivileged children. Because only when you walk through the pollution, push past the dust, and sit with them in the slums, do you begin to understand who Bangladesh truly is. In Bangladesh, every day is a silent battle. Not against natural disasters or war, but a fight for survival amid urban chaos, toxic air, dirty water, and dreams that are constantly being crushed. Dhaka is a city that doesn't understand the meaning of rest. By 4 a.m., the blaring of horns, footsteps, and street vendors' cries echo through the air, signaling the start of an endless race. Over 500,000 people pour into Dhaka from rural areas every year. Most of them end up living in makeshift shelters in slums, public hallways, or even right on the sidewalks. Job opportunities are scarce, while the pressure to make a living weighs heavier by the hour. Men pull rickshaws under the scorching 40-degree heat, women carry goods on their heads walking miles on foot, and children weave through traffic selling tissues and bottled water. Everyone is in a rush, everyone is exhausted, but they keep pushing forward. For them, only if there's money for rice today can they even begin to think about tomorrow. Traffic in Dhaka is a real test, not just for vehicles, but for the driver's nerves. On average, over 3 million vehicles move through the city each day, most of them old, unregistered rickshaws, and buses without emission filters. Hour-long traffic jams are an everyday reality. A 10-kilometer journey can easily take 2 hours during rush hour. Living space is a luxury in Dhaka. Over 35% of the city's population lives in substandard housing. Some rooms are barely 10 square meters but house up to 6 people, with no private toilets and no ventilation. At night, hallways, rooftops, and even the undersides of bridges turn into makeshift beds for thousands who have nowhere else to go. For the poor in Dhaka, nothing comes guaranteed. They have to pay to use public toilets. Wake up early just to fight for a spot on the bus. Crowd in line to buy a single bucket of clean water. Work 12 to 14 hours a day for just a handful of loose change. Their lives aren't about choices, only survival. And the most astonishing thing is, in all that suffocation, they still smile. A street vendor can still greet customers with a charming joke. A mother can still sing a lullaby to her baby in a room no bigger than a single bed. It's not just survival instinct, it's the strength to live. That's what makes Dhaka, despite its poverty and chaos, a city that never truly falls. If urban chaos is the picture we can see, then pollution is the invisible toxic dust that coats every detail of life. And the frightening truth is, that very poison is slowly killing the people of Dhaka, silently and without warning. Air quality in Dhaka is frequently rated as very unhealthy, with AQI levels exceeding 300 for days on end. The concentration of PM 2.5, fine particles that can penetrate deep into the lungs and bloodstream, often reaches 6 to 8 times the WHO's safe limit. During winter, smoke from brick kilns, traffic, and burning waste fills the sky with a constant haze, thick as fog. The sources of air pollution are clear, yet difficult to control. Nearly 70% of vehicles are old and lack emission testing. Hundreds of illegal brick kilns operate around the city without filtration technology, and the habit of burning household waste right in residential areas continues night after night. Together, they create a massive toxic pressure cooker that blankets Dhaka. The air is toxic, but the water is even worse. The Buriganga River, once the pride of the capital, is now a silent canal carrying pollution. According to a 2024 report, over 60% of Dhaka's surface water is unusable due to contamination from industrial chemicals, domestic wastewater, and solid waste. Air and water, the two basic elements of survival, have become luxuries in Dhaka. And when even breathing becomes a risk, each day of life stands as a testament to the resilience of the people who live here. In Dhaka, education and healthcare aren't universal rights, they're privileges. And for the millions living below the poverty line, those are two dreams that always seem out of reach. In slums like Kharail and Rayur Bazaar, most children don't have access to school. And even when schools exist, classrooms are often tiny, with sweltering tin roofs, wobbly desks, and no textbooks. One teacher might have to teach 3 different grade levels at the same time. According to data from BRAC, only 56% of children in poor areas make it to middle school, and less than 20% complete high school. And healthcare? Public hospitals are constantly overcrowded. In some places, 2 patients have to share a single bed. Doctors are overworked, medicines are in short supply, and the process of seeing a doctor can take an entire day, all for just a few antibiotic pills. Pregnant women in poor neighborhoods often give birth at home, with no doctor, no pain relief. Newborns face a high risk of death due to the lack of basic medical care like vaccinations and postnatal support. According to UNICEF, Bangladesh's neonatal mortality rate in 2023 remained among the highest in Asia. Yet in that darkness, there is still light. Non-governmental organizations like BRAC, Sajida Foundation, and local volunteer groups are working tirelessly to bring education and healthcare to those who have been forgotten. They run free classes, operate mobile health clinics, distribute free medicine, and most importantly, they restore hope. Because in a place where books are a luxury, even a single new notebook can spark hope. In a place where hospitals feel out of reach, 1 bag can mean the difference between life and death. These are small actions with powerful ripple effects, and a reminder that social justice doesn't begin with systems, but with the hearts of those who refuse to turn away. And perhaps, it's in those darkest corners, where books become dreams, where every breath feels like a gamble with fate, that we see the truest light, the extraordinary resilience of the Bangladeshi people. You might think that in the choking smog, in makeshift rooms, and amid the endless blare of horns, people would lose their faith. But strangely, it's here, in one of the harshest places, that the warmest smiles continue to bloom. And that's what makes Dhaka truly special. Not because of what it lacks, but because of how its people face that lack. Not because of the pain, but because of the courage to rise above it. Every single day, travel isn't just about seeing, it's about understanding. Dhaka may not be a picture-perfect postcard, but it's a place that reveals the extraordinary strength of humanity in the face of hardship. This video isn't meant to shock, it's a reminder that survival isn't a given for everyone. If you found this story meaningful, please share it. Hit subscribe to follow more journeys into the hidden corners of our world. And if you're able, consider supporting the organizations helping communities here. One small act, one big change. Thank you for watching. Live with your eyes wide open, and a heart unafraid to feel.